You know, the war that you have to really fight is the war against yourself.
It's you against you. You against you. There's no fucking hack, bro. There's no fucking hack. To grow that thing, how do you grow it? Do it, and do it, and do it, and do it. That's the hack. The hack is gonna fucking suck. You gotta build your will.
Now, it's not easy to look in the mirror and to change your own life. It's hard as hell. You have to take responsibility. You have to learn new things. You have to feel uncomfortable. Because discomfort is how we grow. That's how we become strong. You have two paths in front of you right now. One path is the easy path. You don't have to change anything. Everything in your life that you aren't happy about can be someone else's fault. But the end of that road isn't pretty. The other path is the hard path. It's going to be downright painful. You will have to force your brain to think in new ways. But eventually, you will start to feel empowered. You will realize that you have the greatest power of all, the power to change your own life. You will be stronger than you've ever known.
When you give up, your mind thinks it's over, so it stops growing. There's no development when you give up. But when you can say, screw this is awful. I'm overwhelmed, I'm in pain, I'm struggling, I'm hurting, but decide not to leave, your mind gets the message. It realizes he's sticking around, so we need to adapt, we need to improve. That's when different parts of your brain kick into gear. You start using parts of your mind you never used before, especially when you're struggling and you refuse to quit.
I am sick and tired of motherfuckers earning a shitty spot in this world and then blaming every single person around them. I'm sick of watching people stuff their faces and do nothing and expect to have this great life. I'm sick of people showing up and doing the minimum and expect to be wealthy and successful and all the things that they say they want. It just doesn't work that way. When's it gonna be? When is it gonna be that you are finally not full of shit? Make the change that you need to make. Become the person you need to become. This isn't about losing 20 pounds or 30 pounds or 100 pounds. This is about becoming a person that can control their external environment and make decisions that serve them no matter how hard those decisions might be, no matter how inconvenient those decisions might be. That's the only way you're going to solve this problem long term. Your only solution is to become the kind of person who can do the hard things when everybody else stops, when everybody else takes a break, when everybody else quits. This is going to be a full commitment to creating the kind of person that can make the right decision even when it's the last thing they want to do. When they're tired, when they're sore, when they're hungry, they will still make the right decision. When they're stressed, when they're frustrated, when they're angry, they will still make the right decision. When the world is crashing down on their shoulders, they will still make the right decision.
Every day, you should look at yourself and ask, what am I prepared to do to achieve what I want? And if your response is whatever the hell it takes, then you'll eventually get there.
You're setting an example every single day. You have to consistently challenge and work that damn mind of yours. It's a mental machine that needs constant pushing. The cost of regret is far heavier than the cost of discipline. You don't want to wake up one day and regret not following your instincts, not doing what you wanted.
Don't live with regrets. If there's something you want to do in your job, in your relationships, in school, just do it. Life is all about mastering this mental game. Once you conquer this mental game, it stops being a game. You start actually living your life.
Every day you have the choice to either succumb to the seductive whispers of ease or to rise above and challenge yourself. You gotta recognize that the path to greatness, to real growth and achievement, lies in doing the hard things. The things that require effort, dedication, and a relentless pursuit of your goals.
It's about realizing that every difficult step you take is a step towards becoming a stronger, more capable version of yourself.
When you're committed, you start training your mind to seek growth over comfort, embracing the struggle rather than avoiding it. This mental shift is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary.
The most successful individuals are those who can act independently of their feelings. They don't negotiate with their emotions. They separate themselves from these fleeting states and focus on their goals. By taking control of your emotions, you become a disciplined, goal-achieving machine, capable of accomplishing anything you set your mind to.
This isn't just about today, it's about setting the stage for your future. Every decision, every action is a building block for the future you are creating. It's not solely about the goals you achieve, but the person you become in the process.
As you build your future, your vision becomes clearer, and each victory sharpens your focus, transforming your goals from distant dreams into achievable realities.
Discipline is the weapon against mediocrity. And every time you choose to rise early, opt for healthier options, or hit the gym despite fatigue, you strike a blow against weakness, thereby strengthening your mind and character.
You need to cultivate the voice of a champion within you. This is the voice that compels you to get up even when you're tired, even when everything in you wants to stop.
Become the person who cannot quit. Become the person who can say no to the things that they know they're supposed to say no to. Become the person who makes the right decision regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the hardships, regardless of the pain, regardless of the frustration. If you become that person, you have no limits in your life. There is no stopping that person. Start today, and in 365 days, you will look back and you will say, that was the day. That was the day that everything changed. That was the day that my life changed. That was the day that my family changed. That was the day my community changed, because I changed. There are going to be days where you do not feel like doing anything. Those days are going to be there no matter what path you take.
We have two voices in our mind. There's that one voice. It's that soft motherfucker. That soft motherfucking voice that says, sleep the fuck in. It's okay.
You can take the day off, saying you don't need to go hard.
It's that coddling voice. You want to be hugged and nurtured and all that shit.
That voice, that nagging voice of weakness. The one that tells you to back off, to simmer down, to take it easy. When you hear that voice, tell it no. Tell it to sit down and be quiet.
Suppress that voice. You've got another voice in your head that's asking you a question. It's asking you, what could you be? What could you be? What could you be if you worked as hard as you could? What could you be if you imposed real discipline in your life? What could you be?
Because that pain that you are feeling is the test.
This is a test. This is the day I'm going to find out if my goals really are my goals.
Michael Jordan, they call it the flu game. He still scored more than the average dude with the flu. Even when you got the flu and you playing other champions, you still score more than they score because you've learned how to dominate. And you need that same mentality.
I'm talking about looking yourself in the mirror, looking yourself in the eye, and saying, I'm going to fucking dominate today better than any other day. Learn how to get excited when that feeling creeps in of, I don't want to do it. And when those test days become something that you live for, something you look forward to, now you're talking about a whole different level of mindset. You're talking about an unstoppable force of nature that cannot be f***ed with.
Mental toughness is the ability to resist, to manage, overcome doubt, overcome worries, overcome concerns, overcome circumstances that prevent most people from succeeding or performing under pressure. Every human being that is not successful versus every human being that's successful, the only difference between them is mental toughness. One group, when they come up against trials and tribulations, they shrink. One group of people, when they come up against a recession, they shrink. Weak-minded people, they buckle, they complain, they look for every excuse. But mentally tough people, we saw the storm and we pull on our surfboard and we begin to surf on the waves that drown most people. You have to understand that your greatest commodity, not your shoes, not your car, not your clothes, it's your mind. Your mind is the most important thing you have, and you gotta control it.
I don't care what's happening. You have to control it. When you leave, what you fighting for? What's your legacy? What you gonna do? You say you a champ, but do you practice like a champ? You say you a champ, do you fight like a champ? You say you a champ, do you have the mentality of a champ?
Champions keep going when they don't have anything left in their tank. When they don't have no more. When it's over. When they're tired. When they're frustrated. When they're ready to give up. When they spent their last dime. That's when they get started. It's when you have nothing left. It's when you depleted all your money. When all your energy gone. That's when it's showtime. When you find the way out of no way. When you find breath that you don't have. When you find energy that did not exist. When you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe. That's when you find a way.